What's going on, everyone? It's Jeremy with JMed's Brick Clicks. I finally got my newer, upgraded, not really minifig scale anymore, but still pretty cool nonetheless. 9570 RT John Deere dual track tractor. Now, this is the one I made 3 years ago. Still good with that one. Minifig scale, perfect with it. The only thing I really need to add are the stairs, like I did on my brand new one. But aside from that, just for the comparison's sake of size differences, that's the only reason I've got both of them out here. We'll focus most of the video on the new one, which I'm very, very happy with the way it turned out. I really don't know if I could do much better with it. So this one I'll still use on my fields, on my farm displays and stuff, hooking it up to any of my custom equipment, attachments, and implements. But aside from that, this one's just going to be strictly a shelf display, or maybe I'll take it to a show or something in the future. So anyway, we'll move this one off. We'll move this one to the center, and we'll zoom in so you get a better look. Now, I did a video on this, that's last week or so, a week and a half ago. Did pretty decent. Totally uncompleted, so I didn't have the whole back half of the cab, didn't have the external tanks on there. I did some other changes to it. Also, the whole top of the cab changed as well, and the entire back lifting system. So what we're going to do is we'll put it on the turntable. We'll do a 360 a couple times, so you got to get an idea of what it looks like, and then we'll get on to some closer aspects of it. So here's my new custom design. I'm really happy with this. The tracks, I think I got them pretty decent. Our stairs going up. You see the external tanks on both sides going down the side. Got our spacers on the bottom to try to keep our wheels flat. This is kind of heavy. I don't know what the total piece count is. I'm guessing it's somewhere around 600 to 700, but you have to keep in mind over 100 are probably just these tracks. I got about a little over 8 hours in this custom build. It's totally my custom design. I can't really think of anything else to talk to you about right off the bat, but I just wanted to kind of do a 360 to give you an idea what this thing looks like. We're going to open some stuff up here. Got a couple little features on it to take a closer look at and try to show you how I built it. If you want to attempt to build something like this, I don't have instructions. I don't know how to do them because I'd rather just build rather than work on trying to do the PDF instructions to make $10 over time. So it's not really worth it for me. But if you guys want to try to build it, I'll try to show you some really close-ups and get some ideas, so at least you can get started. All right, let's take this off the turntable before we all get dizzy. All right, the first things you notice, yeah, it rolls a lot smoother compared to my other one, which rolls really well backwards, but then doesn't want to roll forward. So I don't know what the deal is with that. This one goes both ways, at least on a flat, completely flat surface. Now if I put a build pad down, which I will in a minute, so you can see it roll, they both do totally fine. Okay, let's get a closer look. Now the one thing I did show on the last one, yes, this can raise up if it needs to, just a little bit, just to get it away from the front treads. You can see on the treads there, we've got the yellow sprocket in the back. There's a good one right there of the black on the front. The black one's a little bit smaller. I had yellow ones on here and it was a little bit too tall. So to get that downward motion going like that angle that makes it look a lot more realistic, I had to downgrade actually, because I actually was going to make it way bigger and it just didn't look right. I actually compacted it as well and made it just a little bit shorter, the wheelbase. And we add in all those kind of just filler spacers and then these wheels just to keep it flat. I'm going to show you the bottom of it, which is not a pretty thing, but is a little bit of an engineering feat in itself, because I had to use a lot of these type pieces because I had to have the holes to be able to stagger them correctly. And you can see, like, using those Technic pieces in there, that's one thing I had to do to be able to get that shape and make it exactly centered to where these wheels are right on the edge on both sides. So it's one little trick. You can see some of the other things. Same thing with my rear drawbar. I need to get these, instead of the old gray, I need to get them in yellow, just like these. Just get a couple more of these yellow ones. We'll just go to the back and look at that. So, got all our hydraulics, rear plug-ins for hydraulics or electric. Just try to make a little bit of that using the little cheese piece. I call it the cheese piece, not the cheese wedge, just the cheese piece, or I guess the pizza piece in orange for our orange slow-moving vehicle triangle. I got a little bit of lift arms here. There's nothing to keep them up. I could tighten those yellow pieces up there to where it would stay up, but right now it just kind of sits on the drawbar. I'm fine with that. I'm not probably, if I do add some large attachment like a planter or a ripper plow or something like that, I'm set. It's going to be a huge challenge that I'm really just not up for right now because I just finished this, and yeah, I'm really happy with this. Man, it's one of those custom build overloads where you build and build and build and take apart and add, and then when you're done, you're like, what's next? That's kind of where I'm at right now. What's next? So I'm still trying to find my next project. Our tanks, you can see our rear tanks, how they're made. They're just actually sitting on there. It's a little trick I did. So you can see they're loose. They're just sitting on this beam right there, that little green 1x4. They're just sitting there. Same thing with this one. It's just sitting there. That keeps it up off the track so you can see the clearance right through there, that we have clearance. And if I can get in closer, how to do some of it. Yeah. But I don't have, one of the things I thought about doing, I know Lego does this with a lot of their Technic vehicles with tracks, is you put an actual wheel, like a flywheel basically, down here that's connected to the tracks to make the tracks turn on flat surfaces. But I guess I've got it heavy enough maybe, and the wheels perfectly spaced to where there's always traction on it. So I guess I'm good there. Maybe I lucked out on that. Our front little thing here, all that is the front counterweight. And I'll add a couple pictures at the end, and then, you know, kind of going throughout this video if you haven't seen them already. Well, I'm sure you have if you're this far in. Just what I'm trying to go for. Yeah, it kind of looks a little funny because your cab is centered over the center of your vehicle. You have all this space behind it over the rear tire, which a normal tractor, yeah, you're sitting back here. And then you have your entire engine and front weights way out front in front of the front tire or front wheel. All right, what's our little feature? Yep, we still got that feature. So I'll bring it in. You can see how I went from 4 down to 3, and then we use those, I know they're 1x4 by something, 1x4 by 2. The longer slopes here on each side, there's 2 of them. That's what these 2 are. You can get a better view of what those are. So I got a little engine block. Nothing great. You can see it's just kind of staggered there to make it work with enough weight in the front to where it stays forward. Yeah, not my best engine block by any means. I didn't really spend a lot of time on it because I rebuilt this engine hood about 4 times. And yeah, I was pretty much done with it. By that point, I really didn't care about the engine itself, since most of the time it's just going to be covered. So you can see our other little features here. Using that piece there really helps, I think, give it a little bit better shaping, where it's the forward kind of going down to the 1. 6 wide cab, that's one thing to remember, as opposed to the 4 wide piece. those are harder to find than these. So that's what I used with these. We added little studs across the outside on the corners for lights. And yeah, I can fit a minifig in there if I want, but we're kind of getting really too large for a minifigure in this scale. But anyway, it's there. What else do we have? Other features for it. I can take the cab off, and it just pops off in 2 pieces. And I do have this. The door comes out. It's only connected across the top. You can see in there with all our controls. I thought about doing some ceiling mounted controls up here, but I really couldn't find the right piece. What I need is the bracket piece, but then you're limited on what to attach to when you use these pieces. I know I have a center piece that I could connect to, but then it's like too far back and I don't want to drop it down more to where I'm blocking out the window. So really I'm kind of set with this. So that's all we're getting for the controls. Got a little space behind the seat if we need it. A little bit of a side console there. I thought about originally doing the little buddy seat, fold down seat, and yeah, it wasn't going to work doing like a one brick wide seat. So, whatever. We'll put this back on. You can see that. What I mean by, there's my one little piece down here. That's just got to sit there, and then this one connects to it. And then you'll notice one piece back here fell off, and I'll show you what that is, in case you're wondering. That piece it always comes off just because of where it's located. Okay, so yeah, we have our one piece. This is my cheater piece. I'll admit, not everything on here stays. So this is the cheater piece. These 3 little pieces. What's the green? The green is supposed to represent my gas cap, and it fits right in this little crevice. Just like that. It's the best thing I could find because I hated having just that open space. I have it on the other side, but this side is more or less the show side. If I'm going to show it, I'm going to set it like this. So I just needed that filled in to where when you're farther back from a little bit of a distance, if I scroll way back, it doesn't look as noticeable or as bad. On the other side, because this is actually a slightly different angle, I can't put a piece there. Believe me, I've tried. But other than that, I'm good with it. So hopefully you like this video. I'm going to put it in the farm just so you see how much larger it is and how it's not going to work. But let me get that set up and we'll take a look at what this looks like in my Lego farm. Okay. From a distance, not that bad. But when you get closer, seeing what like a hay baler, mostly minifig scale, and what are hay bales, which can be 5 foot, 6 foot tall, we're starting to get a little big. And then when you look at it compared to the house, and knowing that's a 3-bay barn and it is nowhere near going to fit inside a barn, and that's the largest barn that I've made, this being the other one, and it won't fit in that one either. Yeah, it's not going to fit, so way too big. The other one does barely fit in the barn if I take off the little light, the little orange light on the top of it. But yeah, it's a showpiece. It's going on the shelf. It's a great addition to my farm collection, just not the farm itself. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully you liked it. If you have any questions, let me know. I don't have instructions on it. I'm sorry. But maybe I can help walk you through it. I can explain some stuff if you have specific questions for it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.